In today's video, I'm going to share with you 10 reasons why I don't switch brokers in order to buy more Roundhill or Yieldmax funds. Roundhill and Yieldmax help us earn over $400,000 per year in dividends. As you can see, we're at about $477,000 in dividends now. And these funds also help us outperform the market. We're up 22.5% for the year now. The S&P is up 12, the Nasdaq's up 11, the Dow's up 5, the Russell's up 2. So we're using Defiance, Roundhill, Yieldmax, Cornerstone, and some margin to live financially free from our 9 to 5. If you need help doing the same, email me for my e-guides at aikentod48@gmail.com. For every $1 you put in your account, you get $4 of purchasing power. I'm just using a fraction of that million in purchasing power to get ahead. My dividends of over $400,000 per year will then pay back this margin debt in less than 1 year. Then I'll be left with all these dividend paying assets to myself, paying monthly cash flow for life that qualify to banks for loans, and that's how we live free from a 9 to 5, because they won't take trading gains, the banks. You have to have dividends or a pay stub to qualify for a house or a car or to get personal loans in order to level up your account with. So I'm going to share with you 10 reasons why, again, I'm not switching brokers to buy more Roundhill and Yieldmax funds, even though we love those funds. I have 10 good reasons why I can't do this. The first reason why I'm not switching brokers for Roundhill, and you guys can probably guess this already, but it's because of Cornerstone. If you switch brokers and go to other brokers with lower maintenance, they might not have the special drip for Cornerstone, okay? So Cornerstone, 5-star fund, and it moves upper left to right here on its chart. So obviously, you have to have Cornerstone to have a total approach in your account, okay? We use Cornerstone, Yieldmax, Defiance, and Roundhill to get this income of over $400,000 per year and these days gains of $12,000 today, as you can see above, or 1%. That's all that really matters. 1%, whereas if you look above at the indexes, we were in line with the indexes. So we're in line with the indexes on a daily basis, and we're beating the indexes on a year-to-date basis with these funds like Roundhill and Yieldmax, but they have high maintenance. And so if you go to other brokers with lower maintenance, again, you might not get that special drip for Cornerstone. Here is the maintenance for, let's say, QDTE, okay? QDTE, which is our Roundhill Nasdaq fund, it is 50% maintenance, all right? If you need help understanding maintenance, that's in my Volume 3 e-guide. And so I always say you can go to other brokers with lower maintenance, but you won't get the special drip for Cornerstone. And I didn't really explain that point about Cornerstone before, but Cornerstone has a 21% dividend, and it drips that dividend down at the NAV for free money every month. It goes sideways to down here on the E-Trade chart. I get a lot of complaints on Cornerstone. Everyone always asks me, why are you in Cornerstone when it moves down on its chart? Well, look here on the Morningstar chart. It moves upward, left to right. You just have to factor back in dividends, drips, and rights offerings. And so if you need help playing Cornerstone, that's in my Volume 4 e-guide. When you buy my e-guide, you get free access to Discord for life, where we alert you of the Cornerstone rights offering announcement right here in Discord, okay? Here's the channel for the rights offering announcement. The second reason why I don't want to just switch brokers for lower maintenance is because I need the negotiating power at E-Trade for my margin interest, okay? So if I have more money in my E-Trade account, I can lower my margin interest. All of my members could probably guess that that was my second point, okay? Obviously, once again, I don't want to switch brokers because I lose my negotiating power for lowering my interest and my maintenance, okay? You can lower your margin interest and you can lower your maintenance. In some rare cases, you can lower your maintenance, but my interest is around 6%. I've negotiated down twice. Many of my clients did the same thing, because when you buy my e-guides, you get free access to Discord for life and you get my phone number for life. So I'll send you that script to negotiate your rates down. I can't switch brokers because I'll lose that negotiating power, okay? I know I could go to Robinhood or Interactive Brokers for lower margin interest and lower maintenance, but they don't have the special drip for Cornerstone. Robinhood doesn't even carry closed-end funds, and then Interactive Brokers does carry Cornerstone, but it doesn't have the special drip for Cornerstone. Now here you can call the corporate number for Interactive Brokers and you can get the corporate drip there, but I'm not sure. I've heard mixed results about Interactive Brokers' special drip for Cornerstone. Fidelity has a special drip and E-Trade has a special drip. I also heard Charles Schwab has a special drip for Cornerstone, but you have to call corporate as well for Charles Schwab. And I hear Charles Schwab has high maintenance. All right. I'm not sure about that, but if you go to our Discord channel here, you can go to our brokerage specifics channel down here, and you can see who has the highest and lowest maintenance for your brokerages. We have a Canadian channel because I get a lot of questions from Canadian investors about who has the lowest maintenance or who has the special drip for Cornerstone. So you can check out that channel. And we have a brokerage specifics channel. Also check out the all things margin related channel. We have all these other channels here for your enjoyment too, like a Yieldmax channel, Defiance. The third reason why I don't switch brokers for lower maintenance is because I like the complete banking system of E-Trade. As I always say, I can swipe my E-Trade card and go wherever I want in this world. Even with my margin debt of $393,000, I can still swipe my E-Trade card and buy whatever I want with my margin debt. I can buy cars, clothes, shoes, houses, whatever. My interest is so low on my margin, I like using my margin better than credit cards. And I just withdraw out of my available withdrawal. Even with the debt, I just withdraw out of my available withdrawal once again. And as long as I can withstand 20% corrections in the market, then I can still withstand margin calls and withdraw freely out of my account and pay my bills in the process. All of my bills are automated out of my E-Trade account. And I love having my checking card, my E-Trade checking card, because I can just spend whatever I want with that with low interest, and then my dividends keep paying it back every month. By the way, my day's gains that are realized here is negative 1,600. That's because of wash sale rules. I was trimming some triples today into the strength. I alerted all my members on Discord who follow my live portfolio service. I was just trying to raise some available withdrawal, not lose any income in the process, and I sold some lots that had some losses. Okay, I always buy high and buy low, and so when I buy low, I make sure when I sell for profits that I take from the higher up lots so I avoid paying taxes. And by doing that, we bought some more Roundhill funds with those proceeds and increased our income even further to about $477,000 now per year in dividends. All right, number 4, I like Fidelity. Okay, a lot of people say, well, if you don't like Interactive Brokers or Robinhood, why not just go to Fidelity? Okay, they have the low maintenance, they have the special drip for Cornerstone. Yes, but their maintenance for Cornerstone at Fidelity is 40%. Okay, the maintenance here for Cornerstone at E-Trade is 30%. All right, so 40% is a big deal. That means that if I have 50% of my portfolio in Cornerstone, which is about 400 grand, 40% maintenance, that 10% difference in maintenance saves me $40K in equity. So my available withdrawal is $40K higher thanks to Cornerstone's low maintenance at E-Trade versus Fidelity's higher maintenance of 40% for Cornerstone. Again, I have to have half of my account in Cornerstone because it is a 5-star fund and it helps shield my account from the volatility in a down market, and it keeps its dividends the same. It's fully diversified. It has that special drip at NAV. It averages 20% premiums per year, and you get to level up with the rights offering announcement. They tell you when to buy and tell you when to sell, unlike owning the S&P. So I have to have Cornerstone. It's been around since the 80s. It's the most established of all of our dividend funds. I have to have that, but I'm not going to keep more than 50% of my account in Cornerstone because closed-end funds can have a mind of their own. But still, half of my account in Cornerstone with that 10% difference in maintenance between E-Trade and Fidelity is a huge deal to my available withdrawal. Point number 5, I don't need that much lower maintenance in exchange for more volatile names in a downturn. So Yieldmax, you can go to Robinhood, Interactive Brokers, Fidelity. You can go to these brokers for the lower maintenance, but I don't want the increased volatility from Yieldmax or some of these other NASDAQ related funds. Okay, again, just because you get lower maintenance doesn't mean you should pile on your margin and increase your leverage. Okay, whether you have high maintenance or low maintenance, extra margin is extra leverage. Okay, so you don't want to just pile on and have too much leverage and affect your performance in the event of a market fall. I know a lot of people who are getting margin called during the recent crash and their performance is really taking a hit because they over leveraged in Yieldmax, Defiance, and Roundhill names that had 50% maintenance, and in some cases lower if they're at other brokers, but those funds fell by a ton. Okay, Yieldmax and a lot of these NASDAQ related names, once again, fell harder than the S&P, and that triggered a lot of margin calls for people because they thought, well, we have low maintenance, so I can just buy as much as I want of these funds and keep my available withdrawal high. Okay, yes, but when you have a huge market fall and everything's tanking, all right, you lose a lot of performance, right? So even if you weren't getting margin called, you were losing a lot of performance. This is how I kept my performance above 22% after this recent rally. The reason why I kept this performance intact was because I had my leverage spread in non-volatile names, okay? Yes, I have some leverage on here, about 400 grand, but 100,000 of this margin was Staples, for example. And then 400,000 of my account was Cornerstone. And then also you have these options where I sell these options and they move down less than the market on a given down day. They lower my volatility, they lower my margin, and they lower my risk because you take the strike price minus the premiums received and you get the true cost basis. So even though you see me down here in my options positions, they don't mean that I'm really down. You have to take the strike price, which is 50, minus the 3,100 that we received in BidX, do 50 minus 31, and now you have me at around 19 for my true cost basis. BidX is somewhere in the 20 or 30s now, wherever it is, but my true cost basis is in the teens. So that's how we also kept our performance in the recent downturn. If you need help selling options like I do to lower my margin and increase your performance, that's in my volume 6 e-guide. So I don't need to switch brokers again just to have more volatility, more leverage in my account. That affects your performance in a down market. Point number 6, Robinhood is not trustworthy. Not only is Robinhood not trustworthy, we saw what they did during Corona, but Interactive Brokerage doesn't have a complete banking system to my knowledge. Please double check at Discord. They might have a complete banking system there, but they don't have all of the tools available to you like an E-Trade has. And then Fidelity's interface isn't as good as E-Trade's either, so I hear. So point number 6, Robinhood isn't really trustworthy. And point number 7 that I had written down here was Interactive Brokers has Cornerstone, but doesn't have the special drip or enough of the tools for me that E-Trade has. Point number 8, a lot of people say, well, if you don't want to switch brokers, why not just use portfolio margin versus traditional margin? Well, I always say I can't use portfolio margin because when the market falls, they increase the maintenance across the board with portfolio margin. So if you're withdrawing out of your account to live out of it like I'm living out of my account with, as I withdraw, they'll increase maintenance further because my equity falls. So if you're really trying to live financially free from your 9 to 5 through your brokerage with portfolio margin, you can get lower maintenance and you get more purchasing power. Like you see here, this 1 million would be worth a lot more. You could probably have 1.5 or 2 million in purchasing power, but you lose a lot of performance in the event of a downturn, and your maintenance increases across the board once again if you're withdrawing out of your brokerage account. So for all these reasons, that's why I haven't switched brokers yet, and that's also why I don't use P margin. I use T margin. That's safer for me. All right, point number 9, I will switch brokers one day when I get big enough to switch, okay? My account's at around 800,000 right now. When I get to maybe $1 million, maybe I'll cut it in half and switch it to, a half E-Trade, half Fidelity, something like that, because I want to have my assets diversified. I don't want any one thing to take me down. I don't want something to go wrong with Morgan Stanley or whatever the case may be. Okay, and last but not least, I like E-Trade because they refund all of your ATM fees. I haven't double checked on that recently, but I just assume that they are. Please double check on that if you haven't done so already. But it's a really nice luxury to have a complete banking system with E-Trade, and then whenever you go to an ATM, they just refund your ATM fee. Those add up if you keep withdrawing out of ATMs, okay? Believe me, I know. All right, so if you need more help doing what I'm doing and outperforming the market like we're doing here, beating the market up 22% and earning dividends of over $400,000 per year, email me for my e-guides at akentod48@gmail.com. When you buy my e-guides, you get free access to Discord for life, where we alert you of the Cornerstone rights offering announcement, and you get my phone number for life, so you can call me anytime you need me. I'll walk you through whatever you need help with in your portfolio. All right, if you like the video, click like or subscribe. I'm going to keep saying this. I really appreciate y'all liking the video. That's really helping push this video out to more audiences, and it's actually getting more traction on my channel finally. Okay, so please keep those likes coming, and I'll talk to you all soon. Thanks.